In the year 1908, at the annual convention of the American Archaeological Society in St. Louis, a police inspector from New Orleans, one Inspector Legras, entered the assembly bearing a most singular and grotesque statuette. He had not come as a scholar or seeker of antiquities. He sought merely to comprehend the true nature of the abhorrent thing he carried. But the upheaval that this statuette would unleash among those learned men far exceeded anything he could have conceived. The statuette measured no more than 7 or 8 inches in height, yet it left every scholar present utterly confounded. An octopus-like head with a pulpy, tentacled face, a scaly, rubbery body, prodigious claws, and long narrow wings folded behind. This was the blasphemous geometry before them. The rectangular pedestal was covered in hieroglyphics that no living linguist could decipher. Symbols that bore no kinship to any known writing system, testifying to an antiquity beyond the reach of human civilization. On the 1st of November 1907, a mud-caked swamp settler burst through the doors of the New Orleans police station. He claimed his settlement had been overrun by a cult. There were drums in the night, disappearances without trace, and shrieks that issued from the deepest recesses of the forest. It was a horror that surpassed any voodoo he had ever witnessed. Legras departed with 20 officers at his command. They penetrated a miasmic morass no white man had dared traverse. Spanish moss hung from ancient cypress like the nooses of hanged men, and a twisted fungus and alien roots conspired to forge an atmosphere of palpable, suffocating dread. From the distance, the drumbeats and unearthly screams drew ever clearer. When they at last beheld the clearing, 4 men nearly collapsed, and one swooned outright upon the muddy ground. Hundreds of naked hybrid forms danced in a frenzied ring around the monstrous bonfire, and at the center an 8-foot granite column was crowned by that abhorrent statuette. 10 wooden scaffolds encircled the monolith, each bearing the inverted and strangely mutilated remains of the missing. 5 minutes of indescribable chaos ensued. Gunfire, shrieks, and savage hand-to-hand combat as the officers charged into that swarming horde of lunatics. When the tumult subsided, Legras counted 47 sullen and intractable prisoners. 5 of his men had fallen, 2 gravely wounded. The statuette was carefully removed from its perch and borne back into the world of civilization. Among the captives, one man, an impossibly aged mestizo called Castro, uttered the most dreadful truth of all. He spoke before mankind arose. Great beings had ruled the earth. They who came from the stars. They now slumbered in submarine cities. Dead yet never truly dead, they communed with a human mind through dreams, and a cult, that accursed cult, had never been extinguished. Castro continued, those great old ones were not composed of flesh and blood. When the stars were right, they could traverse between worlds. When the stars were wrong, they could not survive, yet they would never truly die. They lay dreaming in the stone walls of Raiwa, guarded by great Cthulhu, awaiting the day of resurrection. They reached out to the sensitive among humanity through dreams, for only thus could their alien speech touch minds bound to flesh. After the conference, the statuette passed from hand to hand. It was loaned to Professor Webb, and upon the professor's death returned to Legras. Not long past, I laid eyes upon it myself, and indeed, it was a terrible thing, identical in every particular to the sculpture Wilcox had wrought from his dreams. That cult had never perished. It lurked in every dark corner of the world, patient and malevolent, waiting for the day when the stars would be right once more.